The Barreto 37SG Stump Grinder is a recent, more powerful addition to the Barreto tree service equipment line. As the big brother of the 30SG, the 37SG hefts a hydraulic cutter wheel and bigger teeth driven by higher power piston pumps and greater horsepower. The 37SG's time-tested tracks absorb large impacts and provide much-needed stability on rugged terrain. The center-mounted cutter wheel pivots with 134 degrees of head swing, giving you a wide diameter to grind the widest stumps. General safety instructions. To use the 37SG, you must be over 18 years old and familiar with the operating controls as taught to you by someone with experience. You must also study the safety messages and instructions in the user manual. Pay attention to the safety decals fixed to the body of the grinder near specific hazard points. The 37SG must always be operated in full compliance with all state, local, and national regulations, including OSHA regulations. Always wear proper PPE while moving or operating the grinder. This includes eye protection, such as a full face shield, ear protection, boots, and gloves. If you're working near traffic, wear reflective clothes. Never wear loose-fitting clothing, jewelry, or anything which could get caught, and keep head or facial hair pulled back while operating the machine. While moving or operating the cutter, stay clear of any moving parts, particularly the articulation area. The cutter wheel and other moving parts can amputate arms, legs, fingers, and cause serious injury or even death. Never leave the operating controls while the cutter wheel is in motion. Keep all observers or co-workers at a safe distance and use traffic flag personnel, sign cones, and lighting devices to warn off traffic and pedestrians. Stop the machine immediately if anyone comes too close. Never allow anyone to ride on the machine, and never touch the hydraulic fluid until the machine has had time to cool. Hydraulic fluid moving through the hydraulic lines can become hot enough to cause severe burns. Always operate the machine outdoors and avoid breathing engine exhaust and fumes. Only operate where there is enough light, either natural or artificial, and allow for plenty of side and overhead clearance between the machine and buildings, fences, trees, and other obstacles. Always call 811 before you dig. If you don't, you may cause an accident, interruption of services, damage the environment, or even hurt someone. Always call before you dig. Machine controls. Before heading to a job site, be sure you completely understand the machine controls. The keyed ignition switch is on the far right of the control panel. On the far left of the control panel is the throttle, which controls the engine speed. To the left of the keyed ignition switch are the left and right track controls, which control travel direction and speed while driving the machine. And to the left of those track controls are the cutter wheel controls, used to manipulate the cutting head. The fuel shutoff valve is on the right-hand side of the engine. The parking brake is located behind the left-hand track motor. Move the handle down to engage the brake and up to disengage. Transporting. Before you tow, be sure that the towing vehicle has a 2-inch, 5-centimeter ball mount which is in good repair and securely fastened. When loading, cross the chains under the trailer tongue to prevent it from dropping to the road if the trailer comes loose. Never leave enough slack for the chains to drag on the ground or leave too little so it's drawn too tight. Always attach a safety chain before you drive. Allow for extra clearance around the vehicle and stop after a few blocks to check your load and retighten the hitch to the ball if necessary. Unloading. To unload the machine, always park the vehicle and trailer on level ground. Operating or unloading the grinder on uneven ground increases the danger of losing traction or rolling over. Remove all chains or straps. Start the engine, unlatch the trailer, and lock open the trailer tilt latch pin. Disengage the parking brake. Raise the cutting head out of the cutter head rest and straighten the cutting head before slowly driving the grinder backwards. The weight of the machine will tilt the trailer bed up as it crosses the balance point. Continue driving until the tracks are completely on the ground. Starting the machine. Always do an assessment when you arrive on site. Look around for any conditions or obstructions that could block cutting or make operating the machine unsafe for anyone. Pay particular attention to electrical drop boxes, underground placement notices, manholes, signs of recent cutting, overhangs, drop-offs, rocks, tree limbs, wire, uneven terrain, any existing trenches or holes, or any toxic ground conditions. After doing an assessment, clear the area of debris, branches, and rocks to the best of your ability. If there is a source of sparks or flames nearby, do not operate. Before starting the machine, inspect to make sure nothing on the machine is worn or damaged and replace parts as needed. Also, check and maintain the hydraulic oil, engine oil, and other fluid levels before you start it up. Turn the fuel shutoff valve to the on position. Make sure the throttle is in the idle position, signified by the turtle symbol. Turn the key and fire it up. If you're starting in the cold, see the owner's manual for specific directions. Moving the machine. Before moving the machine, always raise the cutter head. Take hold of the track control with both hands. To travel forward, push them up. Pulling them down moves you in reverse. The speed increases the further the track controls are pushed or pulled from a neutral position. To steer the machine, push one handle farther than the other handle to increase the velocity of either track. This will cause the machine to pivot left or right. Always stay on level ground as much as possible. A 20-degree maximum incline is allowed. However, driving at any incline increases the possibility of losing traction or rolling over, especially if the ground is wet. Never leave the machine running and unattended, even when it's parked. Operating the head. Move the machine into position to cut so that the head can swing across the edge of the stump. Open up the chip shield. Make sure the engine is at full throttle and start the cutter wheel. To raise or lower the head, pull back to raise it or push forward to lower it. Swing the head by moving the control lever left or right. To start the cutting wheel, hold down the thumb button on the control handle, then slowly pull the trigger. You can release the thumb after the wheel starts, but keep the trigger pulled. The cutter wheel will stop if you release the trigger. Lower down the head and start to grind. As you go, listen to the engine speed. Adjust the cut depth and swing speed if necessary so as not to overwhelm the engine and stall the wheel. After one pass is complete, move the cutter wheel down into the stump around an inch and repeat. Always cut from the edge and not the center of the stump. Continue making cuts down the edge until the stump is cut below ground level or the teeth are cutting below half the wheel radius. After the job is done, after grinding is complete and the head is disengaged, close the chip shield before driving away from the stump. Drive the machine back to the trailer, park on level ground, and lower down the cutting head. Reduce the throttle to idle and turn off the ignition switch. Remove the key and close the fuel shutoff valve. Always make sure the engine is off and completely cool before you touch the muffler, any hydraulic parts, or clean or maintain any part of it. Once cool, spray down the machine body and the cutting head. Once you're done cleaning, turn it back on and operate the controls to remove the water from any moving parts. Position the tow vehicle on level ground in front of the machine. Unlatch the trailer tilt bed latch pin and tip up the trailer bed. Line up the grinder with the cutting head facing the trailer. Drive the grinder slowly forward and up onto the bed. The trailer will level itself as the grinder passes the balance point. Loop the front chain through the D-ring on the front of the stump grinder and into the keyhole slot. Back up the grinder until the front chain is completely tight. Engage the parking brake. Loop the rear chain through the loops on the grinder and D-rings on the trailer bed. Hook on and tighten down the load binder. Remove the key and always check to make sure the tilt bed latch pin is latched with the trailer bed tilted down. If you're loading with a ramp or hoist, consult the owner's manual. And always do the necessary lubrication and maintenance required once you get back to the shop, or if necessary, in the field. Consult the owner's manual for specific lubrication requirements and safety precautions for performing maintenance on the battery. For more information, visit www.barretomfg.com or consult your owner's manual.